How many of you here do imaging or use images? Okay. I'm glad to see you because I sort of feel drowned in the world of sequences, but those usually originate as images, as most of you know, and then become sequences. So managing images is a hard thing. And you keep hearing phenotyping, and at the end of the day, imaging is at the center of phenotyping. And most people are trying to figure out how are they going to handle robots spewing out images at them. And so iPlant has also put effort into just not managing sequencing data, but managing imaging data. So I'm going to give you a quick overview, and I am a lot more braver or possibly foolish than compared to all my colleagues, because I am going to do a live demo. So let's see. I'm putting a lot of faith in the Wi-Fi and Syngenta, who sponsored the Wi-Fi. Hopefully it works for us. So before I jump into a live demo, and I'm going to try and keep it less than 5 minutes. So as you saw when Matt spoke, that we have layers of technologies that we build on, and most of these technologies come from different labs that have had it around for a while. And then we take that and we layer that with middleware that we have put together to make it more useful for you. So the center of our imaging strategy, image management strategy, is the iPlant data store, and then Bisque, a project that came out or is out of University of California, Santa Barbara in Manjunath's lab, and they have been collaborating with iPlant to scale it and make it very resilient and future-proof so that you can bring in large amounts of data. It's completely web-based. You do not install a single piece of software on your machine. There are no size limits. You can bring in images that can be 100,000 by 100,000 pixels. You can find the largest image you can, and you can bring that in because the data store can ingest it. And once it's ingested, it uses exactly the same technology that you're used to seeing when you go to Google Maps and you start sort of scrolling and zooming around. You see tiles moving, and that's exactly what it does for you. So that way, your browser now becomes a way to look at a massive image. You're not downloading the massive image, but you're getting a viewport into something that's global scale. It supports more than 300 different image formats, and I know some of you are wondering sequence formats and battling. Trust me, the imaging world has had it worse than you. And so there are support for GeoTIFF, and I'll show you as we're getting more and more people who are flying drones and doing interesting things over their fields. Geolocation is getting embedded into the images, and we can harness all of that to understand where this image is coming from, what can you do. The part that I'm really excited about and I want you guys to see today is 3D. How many of you here do 3D reconstruction? And of course, it will be a subset of those of you who do imaging. So I see 1 or 2 hands. It's literally black magic, if you may. Most people have a hard time putting together their 3D stacks, and once you put that together, only one person knows how to do it, and only one person knows how to show it. The rest of them convert that into a movie because nobody knows how to work with the complex software. And we wanted to make sure we made it really easy for people to work with 3D and go beyond 3D. When you start working with data that has multi-dimensional data but is an image format, how do you combine that? Whether it's temporal, it's different frequencies, it's different wavelengths that are encoded into the image. So I'll show that to you today. And then as Jeremy mentioned, metadata, we are all about managing metadata, because end of the day, when you get to this size, it's more about metadata than it is about your data. And so how do you impart that into your images? And then image annotation. Everybody wants to put an arrow. Everybody wants to put a scale. You want to highlight what's in there. And how do you do that? And again, it's much like the GIS software, which is Geographical Information Systems, where you can have layers of information put on top of your images so that you're not damaging what's below. You just have your annotations as layers. You can turn the layers on and off. And all of this is connected to a computational platform. So if you want to do more analysis, you can go ahead and do it, and you don't have to worry about where is it running. Much like what you heard the speakers before me, you just say, get this done. You honestly don't care where it happens, and we are in that business. And finally, this is battle tested. We have groups that are doing this. There are quite a few NSF-funded digitization efforts. They all use this. They are distributed across the country. They're streaming data that comes into the data store, and then they go look at their images and do a lot of the analysis inside of Bisque. And so with that, I'm going to jump into a demo. Okay, so here's my data, and here, if you notice, as I'm moving my mouse, this is, I'm going through a stack of images, and even the thumbnails are behaving itself. When I go in here, all I have to do is, hey, this is 3D data. I'm just going to view it in 3D. Select that, say I want high quality, and I want this to be rendered with high quality. I know that doesn't do justice. It looks really pretty in front of my eyes. And then I can even adjust the Z depth and say, let's make it 1.2. And now all of a sudden, I can start moving this and doing things with it that you normally could not. And there's nothing to be installed. This is all using your regular browser, and you're doing 3D in here. So there are a lot of other features that I can talk about and show you, but this is the one I wanted you guys to see. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with something here where you can see annotations. You can see there's an annotation put here. It has geolocation already built in, so it tells me where it's coming from. I can see it on a map. It's right in Mexico. And so with that, I'll stop, even though I've gone 2 minutes over. I'll be happy to take any questions. This is a really a full-featured platform, so come talk to us if you're working with images, and we can tell you a lot more about it.